Hey crafty friends, it's Rick. I'm back with another video for Scrappy Boy Stamps. Today we are going to be using some new products mixed with some older products that mixed with some products that came out last month. So we're going to be using the Ghost Mouse die set along with the Spider Web mouse ear die set, and we're going to be using the mouse ear mini album die set that's older. We're also going to be using the South in Your Mouth word dies. And then I pulled pattern paper from the Trickster Ghost pattern paper that came out last month. I'm going to use that spiderweb pattern for my card. And I'm going to start off by ink blending a background panel for a simple night sky. And I'm making a larger card today. This is 4 13/16 by 6 3/4. So it's a pretty big card. So I'm going to start off with some blue ink. And again, I'm doing this as a simple background. So I can add a little bit of ground on my card. And I'm just using Bristol smooth cardstock for this. And again, we're just doing this simply. I'm going to come back with that blue. So we're going to bring that in through that bottom part. So I'll just ink blend all this around, getting that ink moving. I'm going to switch over to a violet color. And I'm going to add that into our card. Most of this background you're not going to see, but just a little bit of it, so it's not going to be seen too much. We just need some color back there. This is about as simple of a night sky as you can get. All right, I'm going to add in some black soot around this top. And I'll blend that together. I'm going to add in a little bit more purple to darken that up and blend everything together. We'll blend our blue. And we do have to kind of come back and forth and blend everything nicely when you're doing something like that. Especially on the Bristol smooth cardstock, you got to make sure that blend is really good. And it does kind of move around. You kind of come back and kind of give it some very light swaps. Kind of soften everything together. I'm going to add some water to that. Grab a paper towel. You can pick that up. I'm going to move this to the side. We're done with our background panel. So I can sit and let this ink dry and just move this, and we'll add this later. Now, I did go ahead and cut out my mouse ears. I used the stitch die from the mouse ear mini album. I used that die right there to cut this out. And then our ear web is this one. I just cut this out from plain cardstock. That came from our Trickster Ghost pattern paper. I'm going to actually take our mouse ears and I'm going to give it a little special effect because it's going to be prominent on the card. So I'm going to take my VersaFine ink pad, and I'm going to smoosh it onto my cardstock. Because I'm going to cover this with glow-in-the-dark embossing powder. Like that. I'm going to dump this back in. All right, I'm going to cover this one more time with our Versamark ink. And I want to really make sure that I get that on there. All right, I put my panel into a box so that I can not hold it and emboss it. Okay, I've got that embossed. It's cooled off. I'm going to go ahead and add liquid glue behind our spider web mouse ears so that we can add this to our little panel. My whole thought process was something kind of spooky, moonish kind of effect, so that it went with our Halloween theme for our project. So I'll just continue adding liquid glue behind that, adding just little dots, little pieces here and there, especially around that center part. I'll take that. I'm going to layer it over our panel right there. Let's try to slide that into place without getting glue everywhere. All right, so there is that. So I'm going to pull in our card base and our card front. I'll add our card front to that. And it's the same size as our card front. Our card base is the same size as our card front. That. Here is our little mouse ears. So we're going to add this. So we're going to kind of tilt our ears just like that. All right, so we'll set that to the side. I do have all my other little parts and pieces. I have my little bases for my ghost mouse. We are going to do two, so we've got mice. So I'm going to pop their little mouse out. I don't need those. I'm going to add liquid glue along the edge. I've cut the base part from black cardstock and the top layer from white so that they are little ghosts. So we'll just put that together. We've got our other one. And I'm going to make one a boy and one a little girl. So inside this die set, we do have the little bow part as well. There's my base part of my bow. Add a little dot of liquid glue right there in the center. Take my little center part of the bow. Pop that on. Then I have the left and right side. I just cut this from a scrap of that same, actually a different pattern from the Trickster Ghost pattern paper. I just cut it out of that. Just a little scrap piece to go with our Halloween theme. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue there. I'm going to pop that side on. We'll do our other little side here. So we'll add liquid glue. We'll pop that on. All right, we're going to add our little bow to our little girl mouse, ghost mouse. So she is ready to go trick-or-treating. I'm going to move these to the side. And I've got the sentiment already cut out. And I chose the sentiment from the South in Your Mouth word dies. I chose the one that says, "Oh my word." I just thought that was kind of fun for a Halloween card. So we're going to add little dots of liquid glue behind our die cut. If I was smart, I would have backed this with adhesive sheet first. And that way all I had to do was pull the backing off the back and added it to our shadow layer, but I did not think of that. So we got that part on there. So we'll add that. The O. And then we got the last part of our sentiment, the my. So we'll add liquid glue, our tiniest little dots there. Press that back into place. Put that in there. So there is our sentiment. So we'll finish building the rest of our card. I'm going to add foam tape behind our little ghost. So I'm going to pop a little foam tape behind him. And then I'm going to use a little bit of thicker foam tape for our other little ghost mouse, so that there's a little bit different in height. So we're going to have him right over here, because I want her to look like she's more in front of him, and like it's dad and daughter dressed up for Halloween, or mom and daughter dressed up for Halloween as ghosts. And they are out enjoying themselves for the festive holiday. So we'll add her right there. And then we will add our sentiment. And I'm going to kind of tilt this over to this one side. I'm going to go ahead and add just a few little white gel pen highlights to their ears. I'm going to give them little center eyes, pupils. All right, I'm going to also add just a few glow-in-the-dark embellishments as well. We're going to add a couple right here. So we'll pop on those. Just to add to the glow-in-the-dark spooky feel of our card. Just a few over on the other side as well. All right, here's a look at my finished card today. I'm going to turn the lights down and see if we can get our glow-in-the-dark elements to kind of show up. And then I'll turn the lights back on. There's our glow-in-the-dark card. Spiderweb, mouse ear card, ghost. All right, here is again a look at our card that we made today. using the new and mixing, matching new and old products. If you like this video, you're probably going to like the one coming up right over there. I'll see you in that video. Bye, guys. Stay crafty. Love you.